Section 1.1, number 14. Here the idea is we're given an equation which has x's and y's in it. We're given some x values to calculate, and we're told to figure out the y values and then use those x, y points to estimate a graph of this function. Now, this equation isn't exactly in the best form to do this because we have x's and y's on both sides of the equation. We really want y equals some function of x, right? So we want the y on the left and all of the x's over on the right. So for this one, the first thing I would do is I would subtract the 6x from both sides, right? Minus 6x, minus 6x, right? So this will cancel over here, leaving us with minus 2y is equal to minus 2x squared minus 6x. And then I would divide both sides by the minus 2. Now division is the same thing as multiplying by this fraction. And then this fraction can be distributed, right? The minus 2 and the minus 2 will cancel here. We're going to get minus 2 over minus 2x squared minus 6 over minus 2. Well, let's do a plus and negative 6 because that's a little more obvious of what's going on here, right? So the minus 2 and the minus 2 will cancel out, leaving a 1, so that'll leave an x squared there. The minus 6 and the minus 2, the minuses will cancel, and 6 is 3 times 2, so we'll get plus 3x. So the equivalent thing to calculate will be y is equal to x squared plus 3x. So now what we do is we plug in all of our x values. Right, so for our first one, I'm going to add minus 4 squared plus 3 times minus 4. Minus 4 squared is the square takes away the negative, so we'll have 16. 3 times minus 4 is minus 12, so this is going to be equal to 4. For the next one, we're going to have x is equal to negative 3, so we're going to have negative 3 squared plus 3 times negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9, because we get rid of the negative. 3 times negative 3 is minus 9, so that's 0. So we're going to get a 0 for the y, and our solution point is minus 3, 0. That will also be on the graph. So our next x value is minus 2, so we're going to get minus 2 squared plus 3 times minus 2. 2 squared is 4. Square takes care of the negative. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6, so this is going to be minus 2. So we're going to have minus 2 as our y point. So we're going to have the point minus 2 on the graph. Our next point is x equals 0. So we're going to 0 squared plus 3 times 0. Well, 0 squared is 0. 3 times 0 is 0, so we get a 0. So the point 0, 0 is also on the graph. Our last point is x equals 1. And if we have 1 squared plus 3 times 1, 1 squared is 1, 3 times 1 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4. And so our last point on the graph that we are going to use is 1, 4. Now this is a quadratic, which means that we're going to be, it's a parabola, right? And so once we plot our points, when x is minus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, y is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this point is on the graph. Minus 3, 0 is on the graph. Minus 2 is on the graph. 0, 0 is on the graph. And 1, 4 is on the graph. Okay. Now the beauty of parabolas is there's a symmetry to them. So I can postulate, right, that our nice, beautiful parabolic curve does something like this. It has to go through that point and then it has to come back up here. Okay? So that's my estimation of this parabola, and we're done.